I'm Andy and welcome to my channel about crypto. In today's video, I just want to give you a quick update on the current market situation and also talk about a few projects I'm currently interested in. Some of the projects I already mentioned before, but there are also a couple of new ones I haven't really talked about before. If you like the content on this channel, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, please check out the community section. And also I wanted to let you know that there will be a private Discord channel coming soon. I will launch it after we hit 1000 subscribers, so it will still probably take another couple of weeks, but yeah, that's something that's coming soon. It will have a lot of cool content, so yeah, watch this space. Right, so let's have a look at Bitcoin first, as usual. Last few days haven't really been great. We had a little bit of a pullback. We almost hit 46k and then, well, it all pretty much went downhill since then. We had quite a few red candles in a row, and today, well, remains to be seen how today will play out. Recently, I've been looking mainly at Heikin-Ashi candles. So essentially the idea with Heikin-Ashi candles is that it takes out some of the noise from the price action. So basically the price is averaged a bit more. I will post a link in the description so you can read up about it more and see the exact formula. I don't want to really put it here. But yeah, essentially, as you can see, if we flick between Heikin-Ashi and normal candles, you can see that when we switch to Heikin-Ashi, there are sort of longer periods of either red or green candles. So when you're reading Heikin-Ashi candles, if there is no bottom shadow and the candle is green, that means that there is very strong uptrend. If there is some bottom shadow, but you still have a green candle, it means you're still in an uptrend, but it's just not quite as strong. If the candle is quite small with big shadows, that's potential that can potentially signal a change in trend. And then with red candles, well, it's the opposite of the green one. So if you have a red candle with both shadows, that's a downtrend. And then red candle with just the bottom shadow indicates strong downtrend. So if we look at dailies, after those last few days of a very strong uptrend, we actually switched to not only downtrend, but the last three, pretty much all four of them, they don't have a top shadow. I mean, this one has just a tiny bit, which essentially indicates that we are in a strong downtrend at the moment. That's not great, but if we switch to weekly candles, we had this one, which indicated potential change of trend. Then the week that just closed, that's actually signals very strong uptrend. We have a green candle with no bottom shadow. And so far this week, although it's only just early Monday, it also still looks the same. So that's what I meant when it comes to getting rid of some of that noise with Heikin-Ashi candles. Even though the last few days are showing a bit of a downtrend, on a slightly longer time scale, it looks like we may still be in an uptrend. Essentially, if we get another green candle here with no bottom shadow, it would be pretty strong indication that we are in an uptrend, even if daily candles are a bit iffy at the moment. And of course, there's a lot of uncertainty in the market right now. There are many things at play, including the situation in the Ukraine and so on. So pretty much anything can still happen. I would say that overall, given all this uncertainty, actually the price action is quite bullish. I mean, on a weekly time frame, it certainly still looks quite bullish. So I was hoping that we'll have slightly more positive signal this week. I was hoping that Bitcoin will stay maybe in that sort of 44, 46k range. It dipped down to 42 again, but we're still firmly above 40k. So I think overall it's not too bad at all. Fear and Greed Index, it's back in a fear territory. We briefly touched neutral range, but dipped back to fear, but it's nowhere near as bad as it was earlier this year. And then when it comes to the volume of NFTs, we had a bit of a dip in the recent days, although the last couple of days actually had really good volume. But overall, NFTs are still performing quite strong, very strong in fact. We are halfway through February, and the volume so far is pretty good. If the rest of the month continues this way, it will be probably the second busiest month for NFTs on record after January. So overall it is pretty good, but still we don't have quite the same volume and the same confidence in the market we had, well, just a week or so ago. Now if we look at altcoins, here is my list of favorite gaming alts, familiar stuff as always. I added a couple new coins to it. I added Network, or whatever you pronounce it, or however you pronounce it, and I added Cypher as well. Actually, in the last week, I did put a little bit of money in Sin City and Cypher. Sin City I mentioned before on a few occasions, I'm really bullish on it. They have some really strong partnerships. I think they will do really well. Cypher, again, I have a couple of their NFTs, quite bullish on the project, another pretty strong one. Network, I kept an eye on this for quite a while. I haven't invested in it just yet, but I'm really tempted, and I probably will. Essentially, right now the main thing that's stopping me is that I'm just spread over so many different tokens that I have to balance it whether I want to put money in yet another token or just add more to some other positions. But incredibly bullish on this one, and yeah, I think I will add it to my bags. But if we look at prices overall, I mean, it's been all up and down quite a bit. We had a bit of a nice recovery not that long ago. Now most of them dipped again. CDFI is performing quite well, could be because of the upcoming SNFTs token airdrop, which I mentioned in my video yesterday. If you haven't seen, please check it out. So that may be essentially pushing the price of S-Fund quite a bit, because there is additional incentive to hold this token. When it comes to all other stuff, my favorites at the moment remain Vulcan Forge, Veracity, and actually from the bigger projects, probably these two at the moment. I think these are the ones I will put majority of the money in once I'm confident that the market is going up. Nothing wrong with the rest of the projects, but I'm just trying to think where I want to allocate most of my funds. And then if we look at individual projects, well, I said that in one of the previous videos that at the moment investing in any specific game is an extremely risky strategy. I mean, investing in altcoins at the moment is an extremely risky strategy. But individual games especially, because you just cannot predict what will do well and what won't. I think probably the best thing you can do is look at their partnerships, look at who are the advisors, essentially look who has a lot of interest in the project performing well. But at the moment, I may add tiny bits of things like, I don't know, Cryo War, because the price is really good, or Good Games Guild and stuff like that. But I'm playing it quite safe still. And if anything, I'm focusing on the bigger projects that span over multiple games, or essentially it's not just one relatively small game and project, it's something much bigger. But of course I'm keeping an eye on all of those, and yeah, once the market turns, I will be allocating my money to most of those projects. Now when it comes to individual projects and projects which I think you should keep an eye on in the next few weeks, well, first of all, we have Block Wallet. Their ticker is Blank, that's what they were used to called. They have mainnet release coming soon. I mentioned this project a few times on this channel. I've been investing in it since early days, somewhere when we were on this leg up here. And I invested more, I think around September, when the price was very low. It's a really good entry point. Market cap is tiny, 10 million. I've been playing with their mainnet beta test wallet over the last few days. I'm planning to make a video purely about this project. I was hoping to actually release it within the next day or two. There are a few things I would like to still check before I do it, so it may be delayed a little bit, but they're planning their mainnet release very soon. Essentially, it's a wallet, software wallet, just like MetaMask, but it has additional privacy features. So you can move your tokens to a privacy pool, and then tokens within that privacy pool are no longer in any way linked to your existing ETH address or whatever other address you're using, whatever other network you're using. So basically you can hide some of your funds, but at the same time, if you then need to prove what was happening with those funds, let's say, I don't know, you have a lot of ETH, you then want to buy a house, and you have to show to the bank where those funds came from. Essentially, there are some compliance requirements. You can still pull out compliance report and you can still show what exactly happened, where those funds came from, and so on. So they have a lot of cool features. I don't want to say too much about it right now because, like I said, I will make a separate video about it coming soon, but definitely bullish on this one. And I think if they get everything right, this thing will absolutely go parabolic. Next project I want to mention, this one is actually something I haven't mentioned before. It's a game I heard about recently, Outer Ring, and I'll just leave it at that. Check it out. They have their token coming out in very early March, and I think it's a pretty cool project. I couldn't play because at the moment you can only play the technical demo if you are a very early investor, and I'm not. But I've seen it on YouTube. Try to look it up on YouTube and look at the gameplay. I think it can do really well. I think it looks really cool. Definitely worth checking out. Yeah, I quite like this one, and it's very early. I mean, as you can see, there is no token yet, so not many people are talking about this one. Definitely worth checking out. Heroes of Mavia, I've mentioned this one before. I made a video purely about this project. Still incredibly bullish about it. NFT sale is going to happen very soon. Their token, one of their tokens, is coming out soon as well. So just wanted to bring it back to your attention. Definitely worth keeping this one on your radar. And another project I want to mention, again, it's one I talked about before. It's Sin City. I have really high hopes for this one. They launched staking recently, as you can see. They have some really strong investors and partnerships. With this sort of backing, I mean, of course, no project is too big to fail, but I'll be extremely surprised if they don't do very well. I mean, I think it's going to be absolutely massive. Their NFTs went down in price recently, so that's potentially good entry point. If we look at the price of the token, it's still somewhere around 9 cents. If we look at the all-time price, it had a little bit of a bump here, but it was nothing huge. But as you can see, it had a very slow start. It was released in the worst possible market, or almost worst possible market. I think that's actually really bullish. Probably if it was released in a much more bullish market, it would just skyrocket straight away, which not always is a good thing. I think this gives it a chance to grow in much more natural, organic way. And personally, I will, like I said, I bought a little bit of it last week, and I will be adding more to my bags. If I were to invest in an individual game, in an individual project at this point in time, at this point in the market cycle when the situation is so uncertain, this is certainly one of the projects I would be looking at. And like I said, well, I did invest in it last week. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it for today. So overall, the situation is still quite uncertain. There are a lot of factors at play, but I think we are heading in the right direction. I think we still have a few weeks of a quite bumpy ride ahead of us. My strategy still remains largely getting NFT whitelists, buying NFTs of those whitelists, very quickly rotating them on the secondary market, and essentially trying to secure as much ETH as possible. And then I'm putting small chunk of this ETH into some of the projects I've just mentioned. But my main strategy remains putting aside some extra ETH and some extra cash. So as soon as there is clear change in the market situation, as soon as it is confirmed that we are actually going up, then just pretty much going all into those projects. So yeah, I hope you found this video helpful and interesting. If you did, please hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye. bye.